Hello and welcome back to the new video if you're a returning viewer, and if you're new here, I'm so happy that you found me. My name is Hannah and today I'm painting the street that I grew up on, and for this I'll be using Google Earth. Today I'm working in my landscape sketchbook. This is sketchbook number 10 and this is a landscape format A5, but I find it's not your usual A5 size. One edge seems to be slightly longer than the standard A5 sketchbook. I am also using my beloved Roman Schmark watercolors, and for my line work I'm using my Sailor Fude the Mannen fountain pen and platinum carbon ink. That day I was thinking of what I wanted to paint, and I've come to realization that I've painted so many beautiful places all around the world. I took part in a lot of Drawing a Style challenges, and I also have a Pinterest board where I save very beautiful places and references for my future paintings and sketches. But then I realized I've never actually sketched my street, the street I grew up on. I come from a very small village in southwestern Poland. This village is called Pastuchów, and if you know a little bit about Poland, I'm not that far away from Wrocław. Or if you pronounce it as an English person, you'll probably say Wrocław. So I'm not that far from Wrocław. And this village actually has quite a lot of history. And the funny thing is, when I was trying to find information about my own village on Polish websites, I couldn't really find that much. And then I typed in the German name of my village, which is Puszczał, and my browser took me to a German Wikipedia site. And I was so surprised because I found so much interesting information about my own village, my own Polish village, on a German Wikipedia site, which is super funny. An interesting fact, apparently some archaeologists found objects dating back to the Bronze Age, so we're talking way before Christ. So we're talking about 14th to 11th century BC, which is super long ago. The village itself was first founded in 1134 by Count Peter Vlast, and it was a German village and it was exposed to German law. And as a village, it had a manor and a watermill and a parish church. And then after 1260, so we're looking at 13th century, it was passed to two families of knights and then from one owner to another. And then in the 16th century, one of the lords built this beautiful Renaissance style palace in Puszczał. And also at the same time, a Reformation was going on and the village became a Protestant village. After the 30 Years' War, the church was returned to Catholics, and then the First Silesian War happened and the village fell to Prussia in 1742, as did most of that region, the Silesia. And then in 1832, so 19th century, they started building a sugar factory, and apparently this gave the village a very big economic boost. Nowadays, there's not much left of that old sugar factory. The only thing that's still standing is that chimney that you can see in the middle of my spread. And I did move out of my village and I came to live abroad when I was about 18, 19. So I'm not sure exactly at what point the sugar factory stopped functioning. But as I remember it right now, it actually brings so many sweet memories. I remember when we were kids and there was a sugar beet harvest season, and we will all go to the fields, and my granddad or my dad and my uncles, they were all farmers, so we would just go with them, and we would sit in a tractor, and they would get the trailers loaded with the sugar beet, and then we would go to the sugar factory, and we would queue for so long because there was a lot of farmers coming to the sugar factory. But then eventually when our turn come, we would go on this massive weighing scale, and then we would dump all the sugar beets, and then we would go back to the fields and get another load. And then when they were processing the sugar beets, the whole village would smell so sweetly of sugar, and they made this like a shredded, it looked like a shredded beet, and you could buy it back, and then they used to use that as feed for cows and farm animals. Don't get me wrong, when I was a kid, the last thing I wanted to do is live in my village. I felt like it was such a small place on earth, and everybody wanted to go and live in a town or in a big city because there was so much happening. But right now, when I look from the perspective of being a grown-up, and also hindsight is a beautiful thing, I miss those times because it was such freedom, and there was so much going on, and the friends, and there was no worries about being home late. We didn't have mobile phones, and our parents would always say to us, if it was like summer, for example, come back home when you see the street lamps come on. That was the time to go home. So when the street lamps come on, then we would make our way home, and it was just so carefree, and it was just so fun. And in a way, I wish my kids had similar type of a childhood like I did. But it's just very, very nice memories, and definitely painting this spread in my sketchbook brought all these memories back, and yeah, it just made me happy and maybe even quite nostalgic, really. So anyway, I was trying to say, Poland as a country, we had quite a dramatic history. This country was constantly divided between other countries, constantly fought over. Others constantly fought for this piece of land. And in the 19th century, it was still divided between Russia, Austria, and Prussia. And the region that I come from, Lower Silesia, and also some other bits as well, that belonged to Prussia, which is now Germany. And it wasn't until after the Second World War, 1945, when the war's finished, all the German people that used to live here and build those houses, they were expelled. I know it sounds quite bad right now, even when I say it, how can you build a house and then someone else comes and tells you to pack and go away? But yes, this is what happened. All the German people were expelled, and there were villages and towns just standing empty. So they had to repopulate this area again, and they brought people from the south and east of Poland, and that's how my granddad got this house. He was told to go and pick up a house and start a new life. And yeah, this is where I grew up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little history lesson and watching me sketch my street, the street that I grew up on. And hopefully, if you do the same, please tag me on my Instagram. And for now, I thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.